needs introduction, but HGTV star Bryan Baeumler is headlining the Vancouver Fall Home Show this weekend. Nice to have you come into studio and spend some time with us.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me.
I'm making that big old trek this morning.
Yeah.
Now, the Vancouver Fall Home Show is underway. It started yesterday?
It did, yep. And on through the weekend, I'm on the main stage 6 to 7 p.m. today and 2 to 3 tomorrow.
Fantastic. Okay, and so I guess what can people expect if they want to take it all in?
I mean, the home show in general, it's a great spot. If you own a home, rent a home, live in a home, whatever it may be, great to meet local contractors, suppliers, trades, get some great ideas. There's snacks, there's fun stuff for the family there. But also, a lot of the speakers on stage like myself, I'll be talking about the housing crisis that we're in, where to spend your money to save some money on your home, and actually, generate some passive income, some passive savings from your home, and just what's wrong with our building industry. The next generation has given up on home ownership. I think it's over 80% of people under 40 have just given up on owning, which is a huge red flag for our economy going forward. So I've got a lot of ideas on that, and I'll share some stories from the Bahamas and filming and behind the scenes and next projects. Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
Fantastic.
And Q&A. A lot of questions.
Okay, well, I've got some questions.
All right, what have you got?
I think, well, first off, you teased us there with your show. So what's going on for next year?
So we are filming a new show right now. I actually just came off filming another season of Rent a Resort with Scott. But we have another show called Building Baeumler that's a little more into the weeds, behind the curtains. It's not just the building or renovating the property. It's how do you make that decision? How do you finance it? What does that mean for the kids? What are the issues that we have with local government or permits or building? So it's a little more of the I guess the challenges and the uphill work to get to that point, because obviously Island of Bryan was a beautiful show and a lot of people watched it, but it looked pretty easy after editing, and it certainly wasn't. So we want to bring people a little more with us on the journey. That's
actually a really good point, because there's a lot of red tape and a lot of things that have to be worked through before you can even get to renovating.
Yeah, a lot of red tape, but there's also the human component. Different culture, working somewhere, it's getting staff in, getting them trained, and there were a lot of really exciting things that happen that maybe they have to air later in the night or online. But we did acquire another hotel in the Florida Keys, Pines and Palms Resorts in Isla Morada, which we're renovating now. We're in the process of acquiring another hotel in the Bahamas and a 600-acre portion of development property for farm to table. Sarah's after a Michelin key for the restaurant and the hotel. So there's a few things going on.
Sure.
Let's put it that way.
It's a lot of work, of work indeed. Okay, if people are maybe dreaming of fixing up their own homes, you'd mentioned in your talk there's two things in particular from guidelines that you have or topics you'll be covering. So what should people be doing? Can you give us a little, I don't know, maybe your top 1 to 2?
Top 1 to 2.
Yeah.
I think we have to change the way that our society, being consumers, looks at housing. We've developed over the past 30, 40, 50 years disposable loot bag housing that's expensive to operate and it's expensive to maintain, and not just short term but long term. And I think if you look at your house a little differently, any money you can spend on your house to save some money is going to be an exponential saving going forward, because as costs of materials, as cost of energy go up, the costs of replacing things and paying for that energy increases exponentially as well. So you can either make decisions that will bring those costs down long term, factor them into the value of the home, or you can sit back and just throw your money out the window, and you're going to throw more and more out the window as time goes on. So there is a way to purchase a home, and by the time you've paid off your mortgage, be a multimillionaire, if you do it properly and if you follow very simple steps with real estate, and we have to change our mind.
And so you'll be discussing that tonight.
We'll be talking a lot about that.
Yeah, people want to know, especially in this market.
They do want to know. This is a great. This is a hot market.
Yeah, it is. And it's hard to get into, like you said. Got to bring those kids' dreams back of home ownership, because that is a huge concern.
It is, and it's a big red flag for the economy. 35% of people renting is pretty standard to move around for work, and you're going to have differences. But once we get up into 80, 90, we're very quickly in Canada heading back to the feudal system, where we're the jesters. We'll all be renting from the king, and that's dangerous, because at some point, not only can the next generation not easily afford to buy a home right now, but in the very near future, the next generation won't be allowed to buy homes. Businesses and REITs and international investment companies and even individuals that have properties, don't sell cash flowing assets that are increasing in value. So that's a real problem.
Okay, well, can't wait to hear these talks tonight, 6 till 7.
6 to
tomorrow.
7. Tomorrow, 2 to 3.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Vancouver Fall Home Show at the Convention Center West. Go check it out. Thanks for coming in, Bryan.
Thanks for having me.
Have a fun stay. I
will.
And stay with us. The top searched Halloween costumes. Are you dressing up?
I'm dressed up.
So this is it. This is you. The trending outfits that could help if you are stuck for ideas for you or your family. That's coming up.